Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and in this video I will review a Blu-ray from Fun City Editions. It's a new Blu-ray boutique and partner label to Vinegar Syndrome, and I'll be talking to you about their latest release, which is 1985's Walking the Edge, starring Robert Forster, Nancy Kwan, and Joe Spinell. Directed by Nancy Kwan's husband, Norbert Meisel, this low-budget, gritty exploitation movie was shot in 1983, but released in 1985 by Empire Pictures. It had a Anchor Bay DVD release back in 2000, and finally this year it saw its first release on sweet Blu-ray. Alright, so the way I see Walking the Edge is that it's minimally a revenge movie and more about Robert Forster's character, Jason Walk, finding his balls and becoming a badass. You see him from being a schlub down on his life, being an ex-AAA baseball player, to now working for a bookie named The Fat Man, collecting gambling debts from gamblers not wanting to pay. How it starts is that Nancy Kwan's character, Christine Holloway, unbeknownst to her, is married to a drug dealer. She finds this out as Brewster, played by Joe Spinell, and his small crew of hooligans are standing in her living room, shotgun in hand, waiting for her husband to come home. And when he does, Brewster kills him along with their son, and she finds a way to escape. Then we cut to Jason driving his cab, which is a front for him to be able to be a juice collector, which I did not know was a term for someone collecting bet money from gamblers. The more you know. So now we see Jason going through a series of events where he meets up with one of those gamblers in the back of his cab, and he doesn't want to pay what he owes to Jason, meeting with his boss. And his boss lets him know that he's going to take the money out that he can collect out of his paycheck, to coming home and finding out that his wife is fucking another dude in their bed.
Figures.
Jason?
You finish?
Well, you scared me. I thought...
That's just great. This is just great, Linda. No shit.
Which he finds out about thanks to this annoying, nosy neighbor trying to stir some shit.
So, you finally caught the slut. Good for you, Jason.
Mrs. Johnson, played to perfection by Ivy Bethune, who sadly died last year at 101 years old. And the final nail in the coffin for that particularly sucky day is this really hot bartender who's been coming on to him. They finally end up in bed and he can't get it up.
I had other things on my mind. I don't know.
So the man starts questioning things as any man would in this situation. We cut to Christine stumbling onto Jason's cab at his garage in the middle of the day, where he hires her on the spot because his cab is number 23 and she says she was born on the 23rd. Something about being superstitious. When she finds out where the garage is, where Brewster and his crew work, she goes there, kills one of them, but shit goes sideways and they leave from there in a hurry. Jason is very frazzled by the whole thing. He acts like a normal person would react, not some hard ass you'd see in these kind of movies where there would be no feelings about it.
Stupid bastard!
Jesus, they were trying to kill me!
I'll never have another chance like that.
Beat the shit out of me! My goddamn hands feel like they're broken!
They were all there.
Jesus Christ!
I told you not to wait.
Look at me, I'm bleeding!
But you had to. You had to get in the way, you...
I'm bleeding!
Goddamn jerk-off cabbie! You stupid!
Robert Forster makes you feel it because he's a damn good actor. Also, we get that Jason is very much in touch with his feelings, as one of his motto is you need 3 hugs a day just to survive, and lives by it. They go to his apartment to hide out and figure out what to do next. Meanwhile, we get a seat at a punk bar with Brewster and his crew hanging out, talking about going after her and Jason. His best friend Tony and partner in their business, played by A. Martinez, tries to help him get his ass out of town to go away and hide, but Jason wants none of that. And from that point on, we slowly see him trying to assert himself, not be as passive anymore.
Never come to
Give me
my
the
office.
80, 516. I didn't come here to talk, fuck around, or argue.
516 again? I guess we really aren't friends, are we, Jason?
No, we're not. You fucked me up, you put me in trouble, I don't back down anymore, so goddamn it, pay up.
Okay, fair's fair.
Plus a buck of what you're already down this week.
You can't be serious.
You want to try me and find out?
Okay, I'll pay.
Now he's driving around LA collecting gambling money in a more forceful manner, while Christine, for pretty much the rest of the movie, stays in hiding in Jason's apartment. And then we meet my favorite character in the movie, a prostitute named Delia, played by Frankie Hill. She brings a lot of no-nonsense sass to this movie. She's got some hilarious one-liners and the 411 on what's happening in the streets, especially concerning Jason. Obviously, we get to see Christine and Jason getting closer as the movie goes on, which will lead to a mild sex scene / torture scene, which director Norbert Meisel, in his European sensibilities, wanted to a juxtaposition of love and hate. We certainly get that when Brewster and his crew, who catches up with Tony at the garage, tortures Tony to find out where Jason is. And by torture, I mean Brewster slicing one of his ears off. And using a drill to poke holes in his body. All right, so here's a Quentin Tarantino side note. As you may well know, Tarantino was a huge fan of Robert Forster. It's why he cast him in Jackie Brown. But something I found out about while listening to the audio commentary with Robert Forster is that he auditioned for Reservoir Dogs, and Quentin let him know that he watched all of his movies. So conceivably, he must have seen Walking the Edge and that scene. I'm just saying.
Hey, what's going on? You hear that?
This is where the revenge part of the movie kicks back in again. We've only seen a few minutes of it at the beginning, and now for the thrilling conclusion. Brewster and his crew finds out where Jason lives, but Christine escaped before they got there, but his nosy neighbor wasn't so lucky. The last 15 minutes is Jason becoming fully realized and confident, and goes on a murderous spree to get those assholes and exact his revenge for Nancy, and at this point for himself. He was lost and now found a purpose and the love of a good woman. And it all ends on a music reality callback from earlier in the movie. A few more things. Couple of goofs I noticed. First one being the punk singer on stage at the club. Seems like he's not singing the same song as his band is playing, which I thought was pretty funny. Also, big oopsie here. I spy with my little eye the cameraman sitting in the backseat of the car Jason borrowed, and we see his reflection in the rearview mirror. I guess the 4K restoration really brought it out. Another fun thing we get to see is a nice night drive through Hollywood and seeing giant billboards promoting movies of that time like Creepshow and Star Trek II. And I know I won't be the first person to suggest this, but this would make a great double bill with Vigilante from William Lustig, the movie Robert Forster shot right before Walking the Edge back in 1982, which both deals with similar themes involving revenge, vengeance, and we get the flavor of both the East and West Coast, with Robert Forster being the lead in both movies, and Joe Spinell also showing up in both. As for the Blu-ray, it's a Fun City Editions release, like I mentioned at the beginning, which is one of Vinegar Syndrome's partner labels. It's a new 4K restoration from the original 35mm negatives. And as if I have to say this, it looks and sounds amazing. It comes with this special limited edition embossed slipcover, which is limited to 2,500 units. Special features, we get two commentaries, one from the Anchor Bay DVD release with Robert Forster, Nancy Kwan, and director Norbert Meisel, and a new commentary by film historian Chris Poggielli and film producer Matt Verbois. Scoring the Edge, a new 12 minutes interview with Jay Chataway, where they talk about his working relationship with William Lustig on Maniac and Vigilante, which in turn got him the gig on Walking the Edge. He talks about his relationships with Forster and Spinell as well. The soundtrack of this never got a release, sadly. Jay doesn't even know where the tapes are.
I don't know what happened to the score, the soundtrack. I think we recorded it, turned them in, and that's the last I've seen it.
It's a fun electro disco score with some great 80s sax thrown in the mix that fits the movie's vibe quite well. There's also Detective Jurgensen Remembers Forster and Spinell, a new interview with the French Connection cop Randy Jurgensen, basically talking about his relationship with both men. Not on this movie, but on Vigilante, and let us know how much sweet guys they were and how he stayed in touch with them until their deaths. We also get Breaking Point, a new video essay by filmmaker Jim Hemphill. There's an image gallery and a trailer included on the Blu-ray, and there's also a booklet right here, and there's a writing by Jim Hemphill again. This time is the 25-year second act, Robert Forster and Walking the Edge right here. So we get a little bit more information. So there you go. So would I recommend Walking the Edge? Any lovers of Robert Forster should make it a priority in watching this. I've been a fan of his movies for a good long while now. First time I saw him was in Jackie Brown back in 1997. Then after that, it was in, and a few of you might remember this, he played Carla Gugino's dad in Karen Cisco, the TV version of the movie Out of Sight. He was excellent in that as well. I had just discovered Walking the Edge like a few months before Fun City Editions announced his release. And I was pretty jazzed to see it, and it definitely lived up to the expectations. Robert Forster, good as always, with a grounded performance. He doesn't play a jacked up hero you would see in these kind of countless revenge movies in the 80s, but just a normal dude stuck in a shitty situation, doing the best he can, flaws and all. Joe Spinell, with the limited screen time he has in this, makes it count by playing another oily, seedy, violent guy he plays so well. I mean, he definitely has the look for it. What I keep hearing from interviews, though, is that people you work with, he says that he's the total opposite, which makes him a really good actor. Nancy Kwan handles herself well with what she's got to play with. This, in my eyes, is definitely more of a character-driven movie and less about gunning people down left and right. Although there are a few gruesome, violent scenes, like the ear-cutting scene, so you do get some of that. The screenplay might be a little thin, but the actors bring a natural feel to it. Some things look like they were improvised on the spot, but it works well for this movie. If you're a Robert Forster fan, and who isn't, this is a no-brainer, a perfect Sunday afternoon movie. Get yourself the Blu-ray. I'm giving this 8 yellow cabs out of 10. That was my review for Walking the Edge. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, Reddit, and on Facebook. In the comment section below, let me know your thoughts on Walking the Edge. Many more movie reviews in the works coming up soon, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao, bye for now.